Okay, CIOS cohort, this is our final video. This video will walk you through how to launch your aptitude assessment through YouScience, your aptitude and interest assessment. And it will also show you on the flip side of that, when you've completed the assessment, what your results landing page will look like. So in the previous video, if you remember, it ended with you filling out some basic demographic information, and then you were told to click on the blue button at the bottom. I think it said something to the effect of "Let's get started" or something like that. Side note, there's a second page of demographic information right after that one that you will encounter if you haven't already. Go ahead and complete it. It's, I believe, just a few more things like gender and ethnicity. Those two questions specifically, you do not have to respond. You can say, "I prefer not to respond," or to provide an answer, and that's totally fine. So once you've completed that second brief page of demographic info, you will then click on one other button at the bottom of that page that really does launch you to the assessment. And that is what you're looking at right now on my screen. It will say "Welcome" and your name. You have lots to offer, and you are going to click on the Get Started button for the brain games. The brain games are all listed right here. Just a couple of things to note. They are in order, so once you start one, you have to finish it. It tells you how long each assessment is, so you know, like if you're needing to leave the house or get on with your day or something else, you can see before you even start that brain game how long it takes, and you cannot go on to the next brain game until you've completed the one above it. So visual comparison speed, it tells you what it's going to assess. So you're going to be assessing how quickly you can perceive details, and it's a maximum 5-minute long assessment. You may finish this brain game or in any of the brain games in a shorter amount of time than they provide you. At most, it will be 5 minutes long. At the beginning of each of these brain games listed here, it will ask you to check off the following to ensure that you are focused and you're not going to be disrupted. Once those are all checked off, you will click Start Now. And then at the beginning of each brain game, it will tell you what you're going to be doing. And most brain games will even give you a practice. So for this one, it's going to ask you to look at the two numbers and tell the system if they are the same or different. So you're going to type in D for different, L for like, and then it will tell you after the sample exercise if you got them all right. So I did all of those correctly, and now I'm ready to begin my actual exercise. Again, it will remind you before you really start the directions for that brain game. And then when you're ready, you will click Begin Exercise, and the assessment will begin and the timer will be started. So assuming that I finished visual comparison speed, I'm done with that assessment, numerical reasoning will then become blue, just like visual comparison speed is right now, and the same process will occur. It will tell you what you're assessing, it will tell you what the test or little brain game is, what you'll be doing, it will tell you how long you have for that assessment. Again, you can log out and log back in as many times as you want until you've gotten all the way to the bottom of this list, which is Interest Profiler. You just can't stop in the middle of one of these brain games. If you do that, then that particular brain game that you stopped in the middle of will reset when you log back in. You'll have to start that one brain game over. As long as you start and finish a brain game, you can log back out log out, log back in anytime you want, and start with the next brain game on the list. Okay, so let's assume, again, you've gotten through all of the brain games. I would not recommend that you take all of the brain games in one sitting. Let your brain rest. Once you, over a period of time, I believe you're going to have at least a couple of weeks to do all of these brain games. Once you have all of them completed, you will get a whole suite of results, which is the fun part. And I'm going to pull up my results now. Okay. My results are somewhere else, but that's just because I have two separate accounts. So you will stay in your same account, and once you've finished all the brain games, sometimes it takes a minute or two for YouScience to produce your results. You might even have to log out and then log back in through Clever for them to pop up. But once they are available, it will look something like this. It will say your name and, hey, you crushed it. And then it will walk you through a summary page, if you will, about all of your strengths and interests. So it's telling me that one of my greatest strengths is numerical reasoning, and what that means. If I want more in-depth information, I can, on any of these pieces of the pie, mind you, I can click on Explore, and it will give me additional information about my strengths in that area and how that might impact my my work, my time at school, and even socially with my friends, or doing things outside of work and school. Things that I might find easy for myself in this area, things that maybe are a little more difficult for me, as well as some additional tips. I can always hit the back button to get back to my piece of the pie, and I can do the exact same thing for each of these items. You can see my greatest strengths are larger portions of the pie, and my smallest strengths, or my weaknesses, if you will, are smaller sections of the pie. So my spatial visualization is not one of my strong suits. That's one of the brain games that you will take where you have to fold a piece of paper over. You're looking at the screen, and you have to figure out, if you fold that paper over in a certain way and you hole punch it, where will the holes be when you unfold it? For some of you, that brain game is going to be amazingly easy, and for me, as you can see, it was a struggle. So that's the beauty of this assessment. All the results are customized to fit you in both your abilities and your interests. This landing page will also go into detail about your personal approach. So it tells me here, that I'm a future focuser, I'm extroverted, I have a great vocabulary, and I'm a specialist. That's my work approach. Just like above here, I can highlight any or click on any of these and go to Explore, and it will tell me in more depth what each of those means and how it impacts my daily life. The landing page will tell you your interpersonal style approach and how you fit best with the team. Different work based on your interests that would really align with what you enjoy doing. So careers that will allow me to be creative and original, allow me to be socially engaged, and that allow me to be persuasive and or competitive in nature. Those careers are going to be good fits for me. And if you want, on your own time down the road, you don't have to do this before Citizens in Our Schools Day. This is something you go back and do later. There are some additional brain games down here at the bottom you can take, but do not feel the need. Don't feel like you have to do that. Only if you want to. Okay, so the coolest part is viewing career matches. So again, remember, everything you're seeing results-wise, our kids see too when they get their results, and this is really, for me, the fun part. So when you click on view career results or career matches, YouScience will place the careers that are strong overall fit. So the careers that match you the best in both your interests and your abilities. And then as you scroll down, YouScience then provides you careers, these turn blue, that are good overall fit. And if you go all the way down, it'll provide you with careers that are a fair overall fit. They turn orange. We always advise students to stay towards the top. You can see here, you can also, students, you as well could sort these careers by the number of years you need, number of years of training you would need to be qualified for those careers. You can also sort your career results based only on aptitude or only on interest. By default, it always shows you your best overall fit between the two, between aptitudes and interests. So as you can see, my results are pretty darn accurate. My number one career listed here is an elementary and secondary school education administrator. So I thankfully, just really through serendipity and dumb luck, fell into a career that really does align with who I am at my core. And when you click on any of the careers, it will show you the same information, just relative or specific to that career. So every career in this database will show you average salary, average projected openings in the next 5 to 10 years, about how many years of education you need for that career, how this career matches your aptitudes, a brief description of what it is to be in this role, what having this career looks like, sounds like, feels like on a daily basis. And then how this fits specifically, not just to your aptitudes, but your interests as well. Related careers that connect to this one that might also be a good fit for you, the types of degrees that people pursue for this career, the majors that they declare for this career, common majors. And then it gives you a little more salary information at the bottom. So it's pretty comprehensive, as you can see. And then you have the ability, if you like that career, you can, I had it already saved. I unsaved it so you could see. You'll have a green button here and you can save that career. So I know, for the purposes of what Dr. Altman and Dr. Buckman are going to be doing with you on your Citizens Day in February, you probably don't need to go super in depth into this career portion. I just really wanted to show you how cool it is and what our kids have access to. Feel free to play around with this as much or as little as you'd like. The main thing you want to really understand for the purposes of what they'll be doing with you in February is all right here. So they're going to help you in February look at these results and your career matches and help you figure out, based on the courses we offer in our enrollment guide at each of our high schools, what courses then maybe you would want to take if you were a high school student. What courses at high school are offered that are in alignment with your abilities or aptitudes, your interests, and the careers that maybe line up with those two things. So we try to connect it all together for our students at the high school level. I hope this is helpful. Again, if you get stuck, please email Dr. Buckman, Dr. Altman, or myself, and I will also be sure that you all have my cell number too. So you're welcomed in the next few weeks up until CIOS Day in February to text me or call me as well.